Okay. Hello, good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for accepting my invite and for coming online on this panel for discussing the different colleges and for going ahead and letting the audience know as to how they can make a choice between different colleges. Before I start, I would like to really go ahead and highlight that all of the people on the panel are great minds coming from great colleges like DSE, ISI, IGIDR, JNU. And I think any economics graduate aims to be in one of these top colleges. So I think it would be a privilege for students to listen to you and to see how your journey was and to see how it is to be in these colleges and what kind of experience you guys have so that they can also go ahead and aim for these good colleges in the future. So to begin with, I would like to put on my first question, which is related to what is it being at your respective college? How does it feel to be at DSC, to be at ISI, to be at IGIDR? What's the first feeling you had when you just stepped in? So to be very frank, when it was my first day at DSC, I was very happy, but my first thing that I heard from my seniors was that people flunk. And that just hit me on the very first day. And till the last day that I exited my college, that remained with me, that somehow I just have to, go out of this college. I don't have to repeat any semester. I don't want to repeat any exam for that matter. And I still remember there was this faculty called JVM. I'm not sure if she still is there, JV Minakshi. But God, everyone was so scared of her. The only subject which had maximum number of, failures, number of flunks was her paper, econometrics third semester. So I want to understand, what was your first day like at your college? Siddharth, we'll start from you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hi, good evening.
So our first day, actually, our batch started very late.
So Siddharth, can you please start by telling the audience which college you are from, and then we can go ahead and do the.
Hello, everyone. So I am currently at DSE in my second year. So I remember at our first day, it was like there were a lot of students actually. So we were excited as usual. But on very first day, the HOD came and they also make us scared that it's the easiest part to get into DSE to clear the entrance, and the most difficult part will start from now. He didn't tell anything exciting, but he made us scared that these many students fail. How you are allowed only 4 years to complete the course, this, that, and yes, that's it. I mean, when you enter the college, it's not like other college, not the very big campus, but yeah, it's enjoyable. But yeah, it's very hectic here. Too much pressure in first year. Now we are second year, so little bit easier, but we have just started. So I don't know how it goes. Right now, I haven't मतलब कोई failure back तो नहीं आए हैं, but believe कि आगे भी नहीं आएंगे.
Right. I think if you have cleared the first year, it is going to be a smooth journey from here.
I believe too.
Yes. What about you, Vivek? How was it at DSC, and how was your first day at college?
Hello everyone, I am Vivek, and I am in DSC right now in second year. Let me tell you that in DSC, I couldn't join the orientation day because back before DSC I was in IGIDR, and for me it was very difficult to choose leave IGIDR and come over to DSC. But again, for me my journey was very different. I had a gap year. I graduated in a batch of 21, and then unfortunately I couldn't make in the same year in DSC, and then I took a gap. a year gap, and then next year I was cleared the examination of IGIDR. I went over there. I stayed for three months, and then, as you all know, like our batch, like results came out on last week of November, I guess. Then for me it was very difficult to leave IGIDR and come over to DSE, and this I took a lot of time to choose this. So I missed my orientation day, and but when the day I stepped into DSE, like I'm entering to my dream college. Like, yeah, I was really very happy, and like the first thing, like took a round of campus. Then, like our economic wall that we all over go there, and we had a photograph, and it was really good day. That this was really it was really happy moment for me that particular day.
I can understand. Yes. How about you, Yamini? How was your first day once you started your master's?
Hi, I'm Yamini and I'm from IGIDR. So I belong to the batch of 2020, and we were infamously called the COVID batch of that year. So my journey was a bit different. I got through IGIDR first, and then 2 months later, I got my DSC results, where I also got in. But then I made this tough choice by choosing IGIDR. Of course, I had my own reasons, but yes, so IGIDR has, of course, transformed me in a way, I think, which I owe a lot of what I am right now to that college in terms of everything, right from the faculty to the environment to the campus we lived in. So yeah, it was a really, really nice experience.
Right. And I think I will come back to this point. If you could guide people, why IGIDR over DSC and how tough that question is, I would really like to know that in detail. So I will come back to you in a while on that. So Vishali, how about you? How was your experience?
Hello everyone, my name is Vishali and I recently graduated from JNU. And my first day, I remember the first class I attended in JNU was Problems of Accumulation, which I believe was one of the hardest paper we had to go through. Like I remember studying till 5 in the morning for the paper, and everyone used to be so scared, to even sit in the exam. And yeah, I believe JNU is like it has people from all the backgrounds. Like my batchmates, some of them were from physics background. One of my batchmates was from biotech, and now they're doing PhD in economics. So that shows that JNU just increases your interest in economics. They teach you in a very holistic way, which obviously builds your interest and builds your passion for economics.
True, I get that. So I have never heard of this paper that you mentioned. Is it a macroeconomic paper, or what exactly is that paper about? Sorry, I think Vishali, we lost you in between. There is some network issue. Okay. So we will come back to you over a while. So Rahul, what about you? How was your experience at your college, the first day?
Hi everyone, my name is Rahul, and I have completed my master's this year only from ISI Delhi. So before coming to ISI, actually, I have graduated in 2020, and then post that I wrote the entrance for DSC and ISI, and I make it to DSC. So I spent 1 year at DSC, and while being at DSC, I completed DSC during the COVID batch itself, and then I gave again the exam for ISI, and then I made to I cleared ISI at that point, and then I came back to I changed my college from DSC to ISI. So our first semester was wholly online, but yeah, coming to ISI was like it is a wholesome feeling. And the first day, the Runama Sains took the lecture of microeconomics, and everyone know about him, like he's famous throughout the country. So yeah, that was a very wholesome feeling. And yeah, at ISI you teach from such a recognized and such a wholesome professors. I mean, you won't get any professors like that anywhere. So they are world class faculty. So it's very wholesome feeling, and I felt very happy being at that place.
I get that. So, Rahul, was there any reason in particular why you wanted to shift from DSC to ISI? I mean,
While preparing for the entrance itself, I always wanted to go into ISI because ISI is very math heavy. It's very math heavy.
hmm,
So I was like, I wanted to go into that, but at first I couldn't clear it. But at the second time, I cleared, and when I went to ISI itself, I was like, okay, I have cleared. I mean, survived 1 year at DSC, and I know plenty of stuff. So ISI would be very easy for me. But when I get into ISI, the picture was totally different, and the level of math at ISI is at its peak. I mean, you I mean, also there is a choice of choosing between whether you want to go to very math oriented courses, or like somewhat theoretical, but that happens in the second year. But from in the first year, the maths and economics, and I mean, the maths is also very abstract basic. I mean, when you start learning micro economics from Arunachalam, it's very different from what I got taught in DSC. Because in DSC, whatever the first year was, it was more or less like whatever that we do during our preparation, entrance preparation. But in microeconomics at ISI, it was very abstract. It was very abstract. So yeah, I found it a bit tough in the first year itself. It was very hectic as well. So yeah, and the reason for being at ISI and leaving DSC was because in future as well, I wanted to make my career in very quant heavy things. So I talked to my seniors as well, and some of seniors from ISI as well, if I would make a switch, whether it will be helpful for me or not. So they also explained me it might be the case that you got a same upliftment from both colleges, but in future you will get benefit from ISI just because of the quant domain that they offer. So yeah, that was my choice for me.
got it, got it. Okay, someday even I would love to have your notes of microeconomics and see what is being taught in microeconomics. So I understand that. I mean, I get the fact that whatever is taught for the preparation of entrance is what comes in DSC. I mean,
Yeah,
they would.
that also I felt, because microeconomics that we taught, that I got taught in DSC, was very similar to what we prepare for
For the end.
entrances. But in ISI, it's very abstract, all this sigma algebra, and it's very abstract. So yeah.
Okay. So how about you, Prajwal? You come from a similar background of ISI. So how was it being at ISI?
Hello.
Hi.
I think it got disconnected. Sorry.
No problem.
Yeah. So I graduated from ISI Delhi about 2 years back, and the first time I went to ISI was for the interview. And during the interview, one of the professors asked me as to why do you want to come to ISI, and I was like, I am interested in microeconomics, and I've heard this is a very good place for that. And he said, but a lot of people fail in microeconomics. Arunava sir here, he fails a lot of people, and I was speechless. So, but yeah, so the first time I went to ISI, after I got admission at ISI, is so when I went there, I was like, I felt like some sort of an imposter syndrome. Like, do I really belong to this place? It's a very a lot of great people have come here, like C.R. Rao and K.R. Parthasarathi. They are like renowned statisticians, and but the professors, the seniors, they were so warm. They were not only very knowledgeable and intelligent, but they were really warm people. They made you feel like you are good, you have come here, and it's not so difficult to make it here once you have come here. So we are all here, we are there to help you. And even if the ideas were very difficult to understand in some of these classes, they would go out of their way to explain things to you. So even on the very first day, as Rahul mentioned about Arunava sir's class. So he is like coming to the class. So Arunava sir is famous for not looking at his notes at all. He just comes to class and starts writing theorems and proofs and all this, and he doesn't look at his notes at all. And everyone is like looking at the board and like, what is happening, when we don't understand. And he's like, I'm teaching you Nobel Prize winning ideas. These are some of the greatest ideas in economics. You should not be afraid of them. You should think deeply about them. And he's like very, very much into this. So it was some sort of a transforming experience, because it's really nice to see somebody so passionate about what they are teaching. And I would say this was the first time I got to see that in my student life, that somebody, so definitely my professors in undergrad were very good, but when I saw this, that somebody so passionate about what they are teaching, they really feel that these are the greatest things that have been done in economics. And he really feels that these are some of the greatest research papers that have been written. And it's really amazing to see something like that uh, on the board, and somebody teaching like that. So you also feel inspired. So that was something very unique that I saw at ISI, and it was great.
Good. So it seems as if this professor is very famous and one should attend his classes. I mean, there were quite a few professors who are visiting professors, and they do visit other universities also. But apparently, I haven't heard of him, or I mean, this is the first time I'm hearing about him. So it would be good to see his notes, definitely. Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. So, Khushi, how about you? You have such a vibrant, background of clearing so many exams, IIT, IGIDR, and then DSE. So, which college did you choose and why? I mean, and how was your first day there?
Yeah, well, I'm in DSE right now in my second year. And the feeling of clearing most of the exams, not all, I didn't clear ISI. So it was great feeling. I did my graduation from Hansraj. So every day while commuting to my college, I used to pass through DSE. And it was my dream that I have to enter this college. I have to be there. So for 3 years, DSE was like my dream place. So I never thought about ISI, IIT, IGIDR. I just had my focus on DSE. And I started my preparation with the same only. Then somehow DSE got delayed, and our batch started in December. So before that, I was in IGIDR. I spent 3 months there, and the experience there was amazing. I had RPI internship as well with me, but so it was tough for me to make this switch, leaving IGIDR, the facilities and everything there, and then switching to DSE. But the brand value which DSE has is, I think, incomparable to any other institute. I feel this, and this was the driving force for me to switch to DSE. And the first day, it was great. Like I had this feeling of fulfillment that I have achieved what I dreamt since past 3 years. And it was great attending the lectures, meeting so many new faces, getting to know each other. It's a little tough in DSC because you have to make your own place in between 300 many other people who come from many diverse backgrounds. You get to know a lot about different aspects of life as well. Many are from engineering background, mathematics, physics. So it is a wholesome experience. And I think I have realized that if you pass DSE, then you get a new way of living life. You know how to struggle. You can face any challenge. So I guess yes, DSE has taught me this. Like I don't fear anything now. Whatever comes, I'll handle it.
True. I get that. That feeling remains mutual. Okay. So, Siddharth, has your internship process started, or how is it? Do you have internships at DSC, and how is the placement cell there?
Ma'am, actually, our batch started late. So for our batch only, there were no internships. But for this upcoming batch, I mean 23 to 25, they have their internship, which will help. I think it will be in summer break. So our final placements will start somewhere in November first week or October last week. Orientation will be, I think, on tomorrow or something. So yeah, placement almost हो जाता है almost सबका. But I think this time many placement coordinators have told that due to recession thing, it will be something less, but everyone will get almost.
Okay, I get that. So since you're mentioning that there was no internship,
For our
were
batch,
students
there will
able
not.
to get the internship from outside, or how was the process? If you or Khushi could go ahead and elaborate on this.
I think some of the, it was not allowed. Professors had told that someone,
Okay.
because there were no breaks for our batch.
Okay.
Continuous lectures and everything was there. So there was no time. But I think some of the students have got internship. So I don't know how, but they have got on their own. There were no involvement of placement cell in this. But for final placement, of course, there will be their involvement.
Okay, sure. I get that. So Yamini, we'll come back to the question that I wanted to understand. What made you?
Sorry to interrupt, but I would
Yes,
like to
sure.
add on to it.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I have the statistics for 21 batch. So if that would be helpful, since we didn't have any internship drive for our batch. So more or less, there were the average stipend for the internship was 70K per month, and the highest being 1.25 at that time. And most of the internship offers were made in data analytics. So this is all I know about that batch.
I get that. So, sorry, since you mentioned about data analytics, during our time, only Stata was being taught as part of the course. So have they started with R, Python, or any new coding course, or is it still Stata that is being taught?
No, we are being taught R right now in our second year. A paper is being offered by Devesh sir, and we would be taught R.
Got it. But Python is still not offered as part of the course at DSE, right?
No, not.
Okay. I mean, because most of the jobs are now in data analytics, even if it is from an economics background. So just wanted to understand if students need to gain some additional coding experience from outside or some other courses that they should be doing.
I think if you have these skills, then definitely it would be helpful for you when you're sitting for your interviews. But I have seen some of my seniors who didn't have any prior knowledge of these soft coding languages also secured great offers in their placement. So it totally depends on what you have done and how best you have done. Like if you're writing something in your CV, you should be thorough with it. Even though it is not at par with your batchmate, but at least what you're writing in it, you should know what it is. You should not be flexing anything which you haven't done.
Right. Yes, true. Got it. Okay. So Yamini, we will come back to you, and I would really like to understand what made you choose IGIDR over DSE, and how the experience has been now, and how is the placement at IGIDR?
So I think the decision to choose between IGIDR and DSE comes with a lot of personal strengths and weaknesses for every person. So like for me, I had done my bachelor's from Hansraj, and because as usual we get involved in a lot of societies and extracurriculars. So by the end of the third year, I was a little fearful of, whether I would be able to handle the kind of maths and quants DSE and ISI have to offer, or where do I like to go ultimately in my career. So first reason for me to choose IGIDR over DSE is one, because it focuses a lot on developmental studies, whereas DSE and more prominently ISI are very quants heavy. Prepared for DSE in order to be able to crack each and every exam that I'm giving, but developmental studies was the primary reason I prioritized IGIDR over DSE. So this was the first reason. Then the second reason was having spent quite a lot of time in being a student of Delhi University. I knew that the ideal ratio is sometimes a little screwed up in University of Delhi. So in fact, when I was in Hansraj, we had some 80 students in one class. So I just wanted to be at a place where I could be one-to-one interact. But I had heard from a lot of seniors that at IGIDR, we are hardly 30, maximum 33 students a batch. So that gives you more time to imbibe in you what's going on, what you're being taught. This was the second reason. Third reason was somewhere the hope of earning an RBI internship to gain exposure, which you do. Like the top 5 students of the batch at IGIDR are offered RBI internships. Then last reason was where I wanted to head towards after my master's. So more than focusing on a career in corporate, I wanted to go towards policy making. And it was not something which would require a lot of quants, but yes, it would require a lot of econometrics and analytical skills that would very well be gotten at IGIDR. So this is the fourth reason, my inherent interest towards public policy and a lot of that stuff that made me for DSE. So these were the reasons.
Got it. So, you mentioned this point that top 5 students go to RBI. Is it something that happens every year? Is it a compulsory thing for sure that happens?
This happens with every batch. I mean, I don't know the batches next to me, but the next batches prior to me, this happened.
Okay. I mean, that's a really good point. And how is the placement at IGIDR overall? So I've heard that the package that you get is at par with DSE, ISI, and other colleges. Is that true?
There are only 30 students. It's the placement cell makes a lot of effort to get 100% of the batch placed. So in the batches, most of the batches prior to us, and again in our batch as well, 100% of the students were placed who applied for it. And as far as the highest package is concerned, in our batch, it was ELPA, which was offered by American Express. And then in the batches next to us, like the batch right next to me, the MSc 2021 to 2023, they were offered the highest package of 23, if not more, but it's as far, like it's as good as what DSE offers.
Got it. So it's approximately 24 lakhs that is offered. Sure, I get that. Thank you. So Vivek, what about you? You mentioned that you took an year drop before you went to DSE. How was it? I mean, many students they usually give up during this year drop, or they feel very demotivated. How is it? How do you cope up that 1 year break? And how do you make sure that you make the maximum use of it during that period?
Yeah, like for me, it wasn't like really a completely a year break, because in 2021 also I itself cleared the exam of Gokhale, IFT, and Madras School of Economics, and I got myself enrolled in MSc in the course of financial economics. So I studied there for a period of 3 months, and then results again came out in the month of December, and it was pretty late. So somehow I couldn't clear the examination I was lagging behind by 3 marks in the entrance. And also by merit, I couldn't make by, I think just it was 0.2% something, I guess. So it was really a bad luck for me that year. But then after results, I thought if I take a drop, then I could make it in the very next year. So in December, I couldn't make it, and I was at home. I belong from Jharkhand. So 2 months, after 2 months, I came back to Delhi. I started preparing. And then again in August, by the starting of the August, IGIDR results came, and I went over there. And again, I started studying there over there. And I really gave up my preparation for DSE. But as I had filled my form of DSE, then I gave the examination and I cleared. Then it was really, it's not, I can't say that it's very easy, like, because you have given up your year for preparation. It is like if you don't make it, everything comes into your mind. But again, I had my mentors, my parents, like they were, no, you can do it. You need to be consistent, and that's the thing that really works. Consistency and hard work, which really pays off. And like after going into IGIDR, I left studying for DSE, but still I could make it because I was consistent throughout my last 4 to 5 months, and which really helped me to clear the examination.
And I think, once you join a master's program, even though it may not be, so for example, I know many of my friends who joined somewhere or the other, and during that 1 year, they actually learned a lot from their professors there. That helped them to clear the exam also.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So Prajwal, since you're working, can you tell how the placement opportunities at ISI are? And also, how much do they value a person coming from ISI in the corporate world?
Yeah, so the placement opportunities are pretty diversified, I would say. You are offered roles from investment banks in quantitative modeling, model validation profiles. You are offered roles from data science firms, and I think some of my juniors also went to startups where they are working in data science teams. So that's also a really good experience. And then you can work in consulting firms as well. So there is a lot of diversity. I think some of my seniors are working in RBI as well. So there's a lot of diversity in terms of placement. You can go to any sector you like because of the skills that ISI equips you with, especially the quantitative skills and also the programming skills. So I remember in my batch, there was one course in R programming. I'm not sure if it's continuing as well, but in my batch, it was there. And then in the corporate sector, I think it's more about your skills. It becomes less about your college over time, and it becomes more about how you are upskilling yourself, how you are good at working in teams, and if you can really add value to your organization. The thing about college is that initially, maybe for during the initial placements or maybe in the initial 1 year, maybe people look at your college, but then after that, it becomes about your skills and what you can bring to the table. So yeah.
True. So currently, what exactly is your role? And, if you could just tell if economics does play a role once you are into that world, corporate world.
Yeah. So currently I'm working at KPMG as a consultant in the financial risk management division. So I would say that I've worked on a variety of projects during my almost 2-year term here. So I worked on default prediction models for for NBFC clients. I worked on strategy projects for life insurance companies. Then I've also worked on some natural language processing models where you need a lot of background. Even if you don't have a background, if you can learn and catch up in neural networks, and I regularly use Python in my job for different kind of either model validation or model development work. So definitely I would say the quantitative skills and the programming skills play a lot of role in your corporate career. And economics as such, I would say it's more about rather than about the specific theorems and specific models, it's more about a way of thinking and a way of analyzing problems. So that way of thinking about problems definitely helps you in corporate sector. If you are able to think in a structured manner and go about solving the client's problems, it definitely plays a very important role. Yeah.
True. So when I was sitting for my final placements, I still remember that data science had just come into this world. I mean, it was too new, and we were given two job roles. One was a data scientist, and one was something into sales. And I preferred that I would go into sales, but not data scientist, because I thought that I was like, I am not sure if it actually means something in India. But somehow I don't know how, my parents, they pushed me that you should be applying for data science. And since then, I think once I entered into this data science world, I was pretty sure that this was the right decision, and it has a lot to do. So I really think that the kind of role that data science, data analytics, all of these offer, they are very, very closely linked to economics, even though not directly applying economics knowledge, but you're using a lot of your quantitative skills. And I didn't know R or Python when I joined, but I think you kind of learn these things if you're good at maths. So that really helps you.
Right.
Vishali, we lost you in between. I was asking you about the course that you were talking about. What was that course, and is it a macroeconomic course that you were mentioning?
Yes, so there was some interruption with my internet. I'm so sorry for that. So the course name was Problems of Accumulation. It was the combination of growth theories, mathematics, and like microeconomics. It was combined, and it used to be one of the most difficult courses, and it was a compulsory course taken by Professor Shubhruto Goha. And yeah, so we studied about growth models in that, like Ramsey model and Harrod Dormar model, the extended version of that.
I get that. So so Vishali, a lot of people, when they have to choose between DSE and JNU, at least it was there till our batch, would mention that if they have to do maybe civil services or PhD, then JNU used to be preferred over DSE. So do you think that JNU offers you a research like environment, or a different environment which helps you in civil services? Is there something in the air that will help you clear the exam?
So I believe that, yeah, this is partly true because four of my batchmates were able to clear prelims this year, and most of my seniors are in Indian Economic Services, and few of them work in RBI too. So there is something in the air. I would partially say that the interdisciplinary nature of JNU, like it's not like you're enrolled in an MA economics program, so you can't study anything from international relations. In second year, you can choose many courses from outside the center, and that that encourages you to think towards other things than economics. And yeah, like and also civil services, the subject matter, the courses in JNU are more inclined towards theory, and we have to write papers, and that it increases our reading and writing skills, so which I believe is quite beneficial for UPSC preparation.
Okay, so I get that. So when you mentioned that you can take a course outside economics, is it only between what we see from outside SSS, SIS, or you can take a course across any department? How is it?
So you can take any course outside the department. Some people took French, some people took Japanese, just to just to explore. So JNU gives you that freedom to explore, and the professors, they're so friendly. You can approach them anytime. I still visit the campus, and like they talk to you about what do you want to do. They offer you help in any way possible. So like JNU is a very warm place, and seniors are very helpful. So yeah.
Okay, sure, I get that. Thank you. So Rahul, would you tell something about the culture at ISI? So I have heard that mostly after the lectures, people are with the professors, in the evening, and they're discussing problems. And then, I've also heard that most of the people usually stay within the campus, even though they're from Delhi. Is it true? Does ISI offer hostel to everyone, even if you're from Delhi, or how is it there?
Yeah, so talking about culture, so as I told you, I mean, at ISI, usually two type of people came. either they want to go into corporate or those who want to go into PhD. So if I would say about the corporate, so corporate placements are excellent. I mean, it's best, but PhD placements are, it's like very, very good, extremely good. I mean, people go to Stanford, Harvard, MIT, these kind of institutions. Okay, so and with regards to placements as well, I was the placement coordinator over there. So for my batch, the placement was also very, very good. So yeah, so those who want to go into PhD and all, they usually spend a lot of time, while talking to their professors about the problems and all, because throughout these 2 years they got to interact with the professors, and they find themselves yeah, what is interesting for them, in what field they can go and pursue their PhD and all. So these 2 years is fully of exploration for those who wanted to go abroad and pursue their PhD, because at ISI, immediately after completing their master's, people go to their PhD. They don't need RA and all. So yeah, most like those who are interested towards a PhD, I mean, they do go to those colleges. And talking about culture, I mean, so basically the diversity of my batch was like that. So we have about 24 students, and 50% of them are from IIT, and 50% of us are like from the normal, like the economic graduates. So this was the diversity, and there is a difference between diversity in other colleges and at ISI. So due to the small batch, there is a very benefit. This is the very beneficial things for the small batches as well. When I was in DSE, so what happens is that DSE has a very large batch. It's like 300 people. So it will happen that sometimes your batchman, you won't know about your batchman itself. So juniors ki to baat hi chhod do. And in ISI, throughout the 2 years, you know everyone, junior, senior, professor, everyone, you get to know about everyone. And I mean, I'm not just talking about everyone in a sense of I know that person's name. I mean, you personally know about that person. So this is all about ISI. And with regards to the placement that you are talking about, as Prajwal also said, so when you step into the ISI, you don't have to worry about the placement. Just forget about it. Eventually it will happen. So utna wo nahi hota hai. When I was in DSC, so I was very scared. 300 people are there is a lot of competition, these kind of things. You get to fear from those things. But when you step into ISI, those fears got away. And yeah, so I would also like to add about the placement stats that happens for my batch. So from my batch, the placement, I mean, the highest stipend was the highest placement offer was 37 lakh, and the average was 23, and the median was 24, and the lowest was around 17 or 18. So this was the placement for my batch. So yeah, this is all about, I can say.
Right. I think, this is what our professor used to mention, and this is true for all the colleges that we have today on panel, whether it is IGIDR, ISI, DSE, or JNU, that the return that we get is much more than what you could have got doing an MBA. You invest so much money doing an MBA, and the package you get is at par with anyone doing an MBA, and the amount of money you have invested is less, though the effort invested is more, but definitely the money invested is less.
Yeah.
So Siddharth, I would like to come to you with another question. So suppose somehow a student has got into DSE. What do you think, if he's not good at maths, would he be able to survive DSE or not? The student has somehow cleared the exam. Maybe through merit basis, they have got into DSE. What next? Would they be able to survive if they're not that good at maths?
I think he will be able to, if he is consistent. I mean, he has to study on daily basis. It can't be that मतलब last day के लिए छोड़ सकता है, ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं. Last day पे कुछ नहीं होता. So he has to be consistent, meet with professors. I mean, talk to your classmates. Batchmates are helpful. So we have problem sets coming every week. We have tutorials. So I think he will be able to, but he has to be consistent. I mean, he can't leave everything for the last day. Agar wo chhod to he's definitely going to fail. But yes, he has to be consistent.
Okay, sure. So Khushi, what was the statistics for the number of people who went from first year to second year? Maybe if you can tell. I mean, So for us, it used to be 50% used to cut down once we would go from the first year to second year. Is it still true at DSE?
I won't say 50%, but definitely people do flunk. But it depends. Like now, I think many people are able to clear it, but still, I don't have the exact numbers. But many people around, I think around 10 of them got 3 backs in their first sem, and we have 3 exams only. So otherwise, out of 300, I guess almost 70 to 80 people had 1 or 2 ERs.
Okay, okay. Right. So how's the culture at the Ratan Tata Library? Do people still sit at, till late nights, or how's the culture at the library?
Yeah, well, it is the same, I think. People do sit there. Now, the librarian has to just push us out that now it's time to go. People do sit there. We have our discussions. We get to know other department people as well. Like there is commerce department. Obviously, commerce is not allowed there, but we have sociology, geography, and some commerce people do come there. So we get to know them as well, and we got to know many of our seniors from there as well. Like they were studying the subject, and we were like, okay, you are from economics, because obviously out of 300 people, it's tough to know many of them. And we sit there from morning to evening. When we have the exams till 8 in the night, even if it's chilling December evenings out there. And it's a great culture. Then we go out to JP tea stall. I think you would be remembering it. So I think it's more or less the same.
Right, sure. Yes, JP tea stall definitely is a very famous one, and one has to take 4 to 5 cups of tea every day to survive. So Yamini, you mentioned that you were at Hansraj and then you went to IGIDR. So are you originally from Delhi?
So I'm based in Gurgaon, and
Okay.
that I commuted daily.
So how easy or difficult it is to survive in Bombay, once you shift to IGIDR? How is the hostel there, and how's the food, most importantly, at IGIDR?
So it's very ironical that it's very, very easy to survive in the most expensive city in India if you are at IGIDR. I mean, it cannot get more affordable because so I'll break it down for you. You know the meager fee that they charge for IGIDR in comparison to your return on investment there. As far as the hostel and the food is concerned, so hostel fee again like 200 per month as we had in Delhi University, very, very subsidized. And in terms of food, so you have to pay for it whatever time of the day you are going there. So they offer 3 times in the canteen the food, and one time snack, evening snack. So the food quality is really, really good, and you get a lot of variety. So it's not like the usual mess food that we hear about, which makes people sick quite literally. So that is really fantastic. Apart from that, even the snacks or the breakfast that they offer, in terms of very, very light appetizers, etc., those are also really good. So the food quality is good. 30 rupee per plate doesn't cost much in a city like Mumbai. And the campus is based very near to the market in Goregaon suburb. So that is also the very, very convenient location for anybody who wants to just go outside and eat there.
I get that. Are there any extracurricular activities also at IGIDR, or is it core into, you just have to
Yes.
study, core into masters?
No. So, of course, there are hectic hours of study. That's one part. But apart from that, since everybody is coexisting at the campus, right from the faculty to the librarian and other administrative staff to the students, So one, you get to play with the children of faculty. So we used to literally have one big team, and then we used to get segregated into two and then play, ranging from volleyball to basketball to badminton. Apart from that, we also have annual day fests there, and annual sports week, to be honest. And there, everybody from faculty to everyone, the family of faculty, anyone who wants to participate in. So there's this one big group of family, you can say. And then we have various other extracurricular activities. Third thing, another thing is about the swimming pool. So you also get pool facilities in IGIDR. So yeah, there are a lot of extracurriculars.
I get that. So the campus is, I mean, I have seen some pictures, and it seems that the campus is really beautiful, the IGIDR campus.
You literally get to see the whole skyline of Andheri, Jogeshwari, everything, like the northern parts of Mumbai. And apart from that, the campus is really away from the hustle bustle of city. So you do not get the feeling that, you are living in a tier 1 city. But again, at the same time, you can just take a bus, take a cab 15 minutes away from the main locals and everything. So yeah.
Right, of course. So Vivek, I would like to ask you, were you, I mean, since it's been 1 year that you have been at DSE, did you get an opportunity to attend the winter school at DSE?
Yeah, I think when we got admission, right after 15 days, winter school was held there. But I somehow couldn't join it because I had to go back home due to some issues. But I think other people had joined over there.
Anyone who could tell about winter school a bit, if you have attended that?
Yeah, it just happened in the mid of December, and our classes started early December. So we were fortunate enough to get the chance to attend it. It's a 3-4 days event where we have main guest distinguished speakers coming to the lecture theater and giving great lectures. And other than that, we have other simultaneous lectures happening in other rooms by many other scholars and researchers from diverse institutes. We can name any like IGIDR, ISI, and many others. So we get to interact with them, and then we have many economists, renowned economists from all over the world. Maybe it's MIT or University of Chicago or what else. So yeah, it's a great experience getting to know and getting to hear such distinguished speakers.
True. And I think it has, again, I mean, I recently got an invite for this year's winter school. So do attend that. It's an excellent thing. I mean, I still attend that thing. So, when I come to the campus, I will definitely come and meet you guys in person.
Definitely.
Okay. So, Vishali, what about JNU? Does it have any extracurricular activities also? How is the placement cell at JNU? How's the internship opportunities at JNU?
So there are no extracurricular activities as such, but there is a club of rethinking economics where you can debate about the recent developments in economics. And the campus is huge. It's like 1,000-acre campus in Delhi. Like it's unimaginable कि इतना बड़ा campus होगा in Delhi. So you can just roam around the campus, explore, sit at dhabas, debate about the current things that are going in the world. And the placement cell is a student run cell. They try their best to bring companies every year. So few companies are regular recruiters like EXL, Axtria, Inturi Consulting. And speaking about internship opportunities are mainly focused in the arena of think tanks, NGOs, and I would say one of my friends did intern at PwC, one of my friends interned at MOSPI, some of them interned at FICCI. So yeah, there are plenty of opportunities available if you are eagerly looking for it.
Got it. Um, so one last question, Prajwal, I have for you before we end the session. It would be, so very recently, one of my students, she's in her second year of ISI Delhi. So she just texted me saying, ma'am, how should I go ahead and build my resume to stand out of my group of students and to kind of, get the best job opportunity? So what were the pointers that you kept in mind while going for your final placement?
Yeah, so during my final placement, I gave a lot of interviews from all the good companies, Standard Chartered, Citi, JPMC, UBS, and so on. So I would say that the thing that they are looking for, since you are a fresher, is not a lot of finance knowledge, but a good understanding of foundational probability and statistics. So there are a lot of good resources at ISI to study about these things, and also study about the interview questions that the companies have taken in the past. So definitely go through them. There are a lot of good internal resources on probability and statistics. And then they want you to have some good knowledge of econometrics, time series, cross section, and so on. And the lecture notes are very good resource for preparing for that. Then so these are the basics, and these are like table stakes. This is something that they expect from everyone. And then there are some additional features that you may want if you want to stand out from your batchmates. A good thing would be to work on some projects. Let's say some project in the domain of machine learning. Pick up a data set from Kaggle or a data set from UCI. There are many good resources where there are good data sets on machine learning, and work on a problem. Work on a prediction problem or something in Python, in R. So that will kind of demonstrate that you understand how to apply what you have studied to solve some kind of a real world problem. And you also have an understanding of tools like R, Python, and so on. And lastly, I would say a good thing would be to practice a little bit of communication skills, because they are also looking if you can explain technical things in simple manner. And they definitely put out a few questions where they ask you to explain technical things in very simple manner. So I remember during my interview, one of my interviews, the interviewer asked me, "Can you explain principal component analysis to me like you would explain to a 5-year-old? How would you explain it?" So this is something that that would definitely help. So yeah, I think working on these three things would be good.
And, thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry, I missed out an important question before we end. So Rahul, can you just tell about the interview experience, while you go ahead and give it at ISI? How is it? Do professors grill you a lot? And what kind of questions they ask there?
Okay, so like for entrance you're asking or for corporate placement?
For entrance.
So so at my time I didn't have to appear for the interview because of the COVID. So I think then anyone like the recent
Love.
batch will be able to explain, or maybe Prajwal if he would have appear for the interview.
Yeah. So I think the interview process was kind of pretty standard. They give you a question and they give you 15 minutes of time to solve that question. And most likely one doesn't, one can't solve it in 15 minutes, but they give you 15 minutes of time, and then you have to take it to in front of an interview panel. There are 2 or 3 professors who ask you to explain your solution on the board, and they're very helpful. Like even if you are missing somewhere, they give you hints. They try to help you out to arrive at the solution. And then once you arrive at the solution, they are like, they just sit you for a casual chit chat, and then that's it. So I remember during my time, yeah. So during my time, when I like explained my solution, the professor said me, take some colorful chalks, draw a diagram on the board, and explain through a diagram. I said there are no colored chalks here. So he said, we don't keep colored chalks, man. What's up? So so I think that was quite funny. But yeah, so it's a good experience.
I mean, adding to that, like interviews, like I have never been appear for the interview, but my juniors were there when I was in college. So what I saw is like it's very different from what, like for when you go for an MBA interview, there are a lot of other things, and like UPSC interview, it's not like that. You go over there, they will ask a question like that, the type of question that you solve in exams and all. They will write a question on the board, and you have to go and solve the problem. That's it. This kind of interviews, I mean, usually happens over there. And yeah, that's what I have seen during my second year when my juniors were coming for the interview.
Got
And
it.
later on, I got to know that the question that we were asked during our interview, it was some sort of a small problem that one of the professors had in his research paper.
Yeah.
So, like, he was solving a bigger problem. It was part of a small problem. So he was like, "Let me outsource this to new candidates."
Good.
So,
I
yeah.
think that's really nice. Good, nice to hear that. Okay. Any last words from any of you for the aspirants who are, going to apply? Anything you would like to say to motivate them as to what they should be doing, what they should be thinking before they enter your college?
Yeah, so I just want to add one point before I end my session. So basically, just don't stress about anything. If you stress about anything, that things will go in a very wrong way. When I was appearing for the first time in ISI, I had put a lot of weight on ISI. I have to go into that college. I have to go into that college. I was so stressed that I mean, I really couldn't perform well in the second paper of entrance. But in the second attempt, when I was in DSE, so DSE is also very hectic in the first year, so you don't have the time to prepare for that thing. So one of my friend told just give the exam, don't hesitate about preparation and all. So at that time I don't have any bulge in my head ki, oh, I have to clear this exam. I was like, okay, hoga to hoga, nahi hoga to nahi hoga. And I hadn't prepared for that thing in a single day. So last year when I was preparing, when I was in my undergrad, I had prepared very thoroughly for ISI, but I couldn't make it. And the next year I didn't even prepare for that thing a single day, and I just went to give the exam and I cleared it. So just don't stress about anything, and don't put a lot of pressure on ISI, DSE or like this. Just go with your preparation and give all exams in a very similar way. Hoga to bhi acha hai, nahi hoga to bhi, it's also fine. It's fine. Life is not going to stop. So yeah, so don't stress about any exam. Things will happen in their own way.
Well portrayed, I think so. Very well summarized. And anyone else you would like to tell the juniors what they should be doing?
Well, I totally agree.
I think, yeah, Khushi, go
Yeah,
on.
no, you can carry on.
Okay, so I just wanted to add to what Rahul said. So I personally would just like to summarize my journey that I was very fearful and I was very doubtful of whether or not even I'm going to clear one entrance. But then a blessing in disguise, of course, not a blessing for anybody in the world, but then and I had plenty of time at home. The entrances got delayed. I just thought that, okay, I'll do 2-3 hours of study minimum every day. I'll just try to understand the subject. Whether or not I have a strength in maths or quants, I would just try to understand it and get it. And at the end of the day, I won't see where I'm getting it. I'd be able to justify myself that, okay, I have done my best. And the end result was that consistency pays. It pays off always. Like, so I ended up clearing most of the entrances which I applied for. And as Rahul said, I mean, in the long run, it doesn't even matter, which college you are very hard and fast bent upon getting into. It just matters that what's the bigger domain that you want to get into. So you will get it through either way, but you just have to remember, okay, is corporate meant for me? Is policy making meant for me? Or do I have to just go for further studies? So I think that what matters the most.
So, right. Consistency definitely is important. And I continuously tell the aspirants that, even if you study 2 hours per day, but you're consistent, it is going to help you rather than just doing it at the last moment. True. Yes. Sorry, Khushi, you were also saying something.
Yeah, I think the key to crack any exam is definitely being consistent and doing fastly. I think these are the two main things which you need to do. Uh, First of all, when you're starting the preparation, you should be clear why you are doing this, where do you want to get in, and don't stress out that, okay, I have to be there and in that sense, because if you will exhaust yourself in the initial phase of the preparation, then it's a long journey. You have to be consistent and don't exhaust yourself. Definitely, you should know the pattern of the exam so that you can strategize your preparation in that way so that you can maximize the output. And we being from economics background, we should know how to optimize these results. So yeah, these are the two main things: being consistent and doing the past things.
Right. Yes. Past years are truly important. I understand that. Yes, true. Anything else from anyone before we wrap up?
So for JNU entrance exam, I would like to say that JNU tests your general interest in economics. So if you are like willing to go to JNU, just joining a coaching and studying from the material won't translate into cracking the exam. For example, like I was when I was appearing for the entrance exam of JNU, I was already enrolled in Gokhale in one of the courses. So I didn't really had the time to study a lot for JNU, and the time जब JNU का exam हो रहा था, I had my exams in Gokhale. So, but I had the general interest, and I kept on studying on topics of macroeconomics, development economics, and Indian economy. So, if you want to crack JNU entrance exam, I would advise that you should focus more on Indian economy, development economics, and macroeconomics, because I think I remember that around 15 questions were from the same topic of ISLM in my year of JNU entrance exam. So if someone missed it, they would have really messed up the entrance exam.
Okay, I get that. Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't know how, by chance, I have on board all the people who kind of went from one college to another before they could end up with their destined college, or their journey was very interesting to hear. And even Vivek, as you were mentioning, you went to sometime it was an MSc, I think, and then it went to DSE. So I think all of you have this very exciteful, and Rahul, you completed one complete year at DSE. And so I think so it was very exciting to hear how you went from one college to another before you ended up with your destiny. And I think this is something that everyone should learn, that even if you have got admission at a place, you still can go ahead, and if you really aspire to be at other place, you can be at that place also. You can keep practicing, and even with your masters, you can go ahead and crack the other exam. And if not, then nothing to worry. You're already doing masters from a good place. You're already at a good place. You will get placement. Everything will be fine. So thank you so much for your time. It was very, very grateful, and I'm very blessed to have all of you on board, humbled to have you on board. And I think that students would gain really a lot of information from this session. Thank you for your time, especially on a Saturday evening where I think, a lot of you would have had some plan. I was pretty sure I didn't wanted to keep it on Sunday because there was this India match, and I was sure that most of you would have said no to it. So I thought that why not keep it on a Saturday, and let's wrap it on a Saturday. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Bye.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
Thank you.